JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 15th of February 2021, guys. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Monday's morning session where we're gonna have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then guys, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning here of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. Now then guys, jumping into the charts. So the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225, and look at the beautiful explosion here to the upside. Of course, that kind of followed the markets, the US markets that kind of popped higher on Friday before the US closing bell, and yep, we're seeing here a nice move here further north from Nikkei. So what I can say here is that this little idea that I've mentioned before, that in a way a bit of correction here could be possible if we see the price falling below the 29,519. But as you can see, well, the index kind of stayed just bang on this line, and yep, we saw this further push today to the upside. So the index closed in the positive territory, so that's kind of great news for the buyers. The level where we are right now is basically we've surpassed the low of May of 1990. Now we're basically near this other little hurdle, and let me just grab this one. There we go. So that's the one. So that's the lowest point of July of 1990, and that is roughly near the 30,297 mark. So again, we are at a very interesting spot right now, so we continue to rally here. Again, it's really interesting to see where and when are we going to let's say reverse and let's say go for a bit of a corrective move here. Now if you remember, in back in February here, at the end of February, we saw a huge decline due to the whole kind of corona issue and all the lockdowns here, and basically the index, you can see that last year at this, well, around this time at the end of February, it started selling off heavily. Now I'm not saying that we're gonna repeat the 2020 scenario, but again, keep in mind that we are let's say on a very strong rally right now. So at some point the markets will have to correct, but again, at the moment it's very difficult to find that kind of reversal point here, because again, it's not really giving us any indication. Now last week I thought maybe this is where we'll see a bit of a corrective move here. However, yep, we can say that this didn't really kind of work out. So basically now I'm just going to continue targeting the upside until I'm gonna get a clear reversal signal. So so yeah guys, that's kind of the situation here, unfortunately. I mean, unfortunate for the sellers, of course. Yep, at the moment my next target for Nikkei will be this 30,297 territory right here. We're not far from there, and then I'm gonna take it from there. So let's keep an eye on that one. Good morning to everybody. I can see there's some people in the chat room here. So Kirsten, good morning to you too. I hope you're having a lovely start of the day and the of the week as well. So yep. Now guys, jumping into another index, and that's the German DAX. Oh, and by the way, before I continue, in terms of the economic calendar, and you also need to kind of be aware of that today the US markets, US and Canadian markets are closed. Hong Kong is also still closed, and China is still closed. So yep. So yeah, guys, keep your eyes, I mean, on the fact that there might not be a lot of volatility today. So, so yeah, something to kind of keep in mind. In terms of the other economic data, there's not much happening. We do have a bit of, let's say, data coming out from Europe, industrial production. So yeah, and kind of, to be honest, that's it. Mainly focus yourselves on the whole kind of coronavirus issue and actually the political developments in the US. I mean, that's something to keep an eye on, as it lately kind of became a big show in there. So yeah, let's be, of course, careful. So jumping into European equities here, the German DAX, you can see that on Friday we had a nice push higher here, closed fractionally in the positive territory. However, still remained below this 14,131 zone, and I spoke about this level previously, guys, and previously, I mean, in the end of last week, because of what I was saying, that I would like to see the index kind of getting out through one of these levels here. Either a push above the 14,131 zone here could do the trick for more buyers, and then higher levels could be met, or we need to see at least a drop below this 13,916 zone, which, as you can see, that's the low of the 11th of February, also the low of the 12th of February, and this level here is somehow acting as a good area of support. So that's why we will be very careful for now. And but the most important, probably keep your eyes on the cash index, because the cash index is above this 14,131 zone right here. So in a way, this kind of indicates that the index is sure willing to kind of push further north. I mean, again, let's put it this way: we did reach an all-time high last week. We hit the 14,169 zone. Can we go further? Can we go for another maybe all-time high? Well, again, let's see. Again, we do have a very strong area of resistance right here. The 14,130. 14,131 zone. Oh, do apologize, guys. I mean, this level that I was talking about here, this was 14,063. Now that's what you, okay, this is a little bit my bad on this one, so I do apologize. This is the level that I was talking about. Let me just adjust it very quickly. So this is what happens when you have too many lines in your chart. So this level here, the 14,060 zone right here, that's the high of the 10th of February. There we go. So the cash index right now is above this hurdle already, this 14,063, and also looking at the price right now, it is above this hurdle, this 14,131. So that's the highest point of January, guys. We are above that highest point of January, but we're not really above this, now the all-time high near the 14,169. So we're stuck in this little zone right here. So that's going to be very, very interesting today to see where this can go. I mean, can I actually overcome this previous high, all-time high? Well, sorry, not the previous, the current all-time high. Well, I mean, let's wait and see, guys. Okay, this one is a little bit of a tricky one. So of course, for now, given the whole kind of bullish atmosphere, the whole kind of risk-on environment right now, yes, there is a very good chance we could see a further move north here. But if you want to be on the safe side, guys, I mean, we are not far from that 14,169 zone. Wait for a pop above it, and then we could go for some higher levels. Because, like I said, let's say if it pushes a little bit higher, but let's say struggles to get over this hurdle, then maybe we could see that little correction. However, I would rather kind of take it from there and see what it wants to do after, because again, let's not rush into anything. At the moment, the market is a bit on the tricky side. Jumping into FTSE 100 now here, pushing nicely to the upside. Last week on Friday you saw this one breaking this downside line, and well, I mean, this of course kind of opens the door towards some higher levels. The cash index right now is trading near the 6,633 mark, so 66.33. So we're above this hurdle, above this 6,610 zone marked by the low of the 25th of January. So if you remember last week, I talked about that if we get a break of this downside line, a push above the 6,610 zone would be needed in order to get a little bit more excited with the upside. So, well, we're above that hurdle, so we're a little bit more excited right now. So let's see if we can push further north. My next target will be this one right here, actually. This one, the 6,676, or actually we can round it up towards the 77 here. So 66.77, that could be in a nice next good target, and of course we'll slowly continue targeting higher levels if the barrier here fails to provide resistance. Now jumping into another index, and dollar index, and well, look at this beautiful trading activity. So this is, guys, this is what I was saying, not to rush into anything yet. So on Friday we were trading, you can see here we were kind of pushing back above this downside line, but what I said to you guys, that all this area for me will be a bit of a neutral one, because I would prefer to wait for a push above the 91.24 zone in order to go for some higher levels. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the 90.25 area here, for obvious reasons, because this area did provide very good support. So if we get a break below this, then yes, of course, this will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and further declines could be possible. In terms of the upsides, as I said, the 91.24 territory, that's what I'm going to be looking for a break of this area in order to go for some higher levels. So let's see how this is going to play out, but for now it's a little bit leaning towards the downside. Now gold, gold is pushing below this 1819 zone, so I mean that's very interesting here. So in a way, everything's kind of working according to the plan. The plan was that if we get a drop again below this 1819 zone, then yes, it increases the chances for this commodity to drift further south. If you want to be on the safe side, if you're, for example, no longer comfortable with this 1819 territory due to the fact that it kind of got pierced through several times here, now there's another solution for you guys. You can keep an eye on Friday's low, which is around the 1810 zone, and if we get a drop below this hurdle, then yes, lower levels could be met, and then we could target, well, I mean, the 1765 territory is quite an interesting one, of course, but to be honest, I mean, I would prefer maybe initially to target this 1785 territory marked by the current lowest point of February, and then go for those kind of lower areas. But again, like I said, for now, the fact that it's trading again below this 200-day EMA, below the 1819 zone, yes, that kind of slightly strengthens the downside scenario. But more bears could join in if we get a drop below Friday's low here, which is around the 1810, and then we'll aim for that 1785 territory. For the upside, now previously I talked about that 1875 territory. However, given the way everything's kind of shaping up here, I would maybe start looking at this 1855 territory marked by the high of last week. A nice good push above it, of course, would already mean that the price is above this downside line, and this will confirm a forthcoming higher high. WTI oil. Oh, sorry, Brent oil, guys. Brent oil. I've meant to have a look at WTI oil. So let me just quickly pick up on that. To be honest, guys, I mean, let me just keep this like this as it was on the list. So let's have a look at WTI oil. So looking at this beautiful push here further north, we can see that it seems that the bulls are not really willing to give up yet. So at the moment, everything's quite interesting here. I mean, if you look at this picture here. After we had this strong decline here in the end of February, in March, where the prices kind of went negative for some contracts, well, now we can see a perfect rally here, a push higher, and now we're also kind of we've managed to overcome this hurdle, this the high of the 20th of January, and that was near the 59.61 zone. So now the big question here is where we could go next. Now, to be honest, with this pace, it seems that we could actually even reach the highest point of 2020, and that level is around the 65.62. Now, the big question here is, of course, will we get at least a correction lower before kind of reaching this area? Well, I mean, at the moment, it's what we can do here is just kind of keep an eye on some of the levels. So, for example, the 59.61 territory, you could keep an eye on it, because if the price suddenly reverses back down and falls below it, now that's where maybe we could go for that larger correction to the downside, especially if also the commodity drifts below the 57.27 territory, somewhere around here. But given the fact that we haven't seen a kind of a clear reversal signal, well, I mean, for now it's kind of it's just one-way traffic. It's just to the upside. Currently, as you can see, the price is getting a hold up near this low of the 31st of December of 2019, and that area is roughly around the 60.63 territory right here. So yep, this is where the current holdup is occurring. Let's see if this area somehow provides decent, or should I say, continues to provide decent resistance, because at the moment, yep, that's the low of the 31st of December of 2019, and also the low of the 2nd of January of 2020. If by any chance this area, like I said, continues to provide resistance, then yep, maybe a bit of a corrective move lower could be possible. But at this point in time, I would probably stick to this this 59.61 zone, just to be a little bit more on the safe side, in order to go for those like I said, larger corrections. But at the moment, again, it's don't get me wrong, I mean, I do understand that you're probably thinking like to go short somewhere here. It is tempting, but we didn't have really a kind of a signal for a possible correction yet, so be wary of that. Bitcoin Cash. So last time I looked at this one, I was talking about some of these levels here. So let me redraw everything here, guys. I mean, this has during the weekend, some of the cryptos have exploded nicely to the upside here. So at Bitcoin Cash, you can see that it overcame the highest point of January near the 631.70 zone here. The crypto managed to reach the level around the 750 zone, and this morning we saw a nice decent correction here to the downside. My biggest question here is, can we actually go for that larger correction, and before, let's say, pushing higher again? So at the moment, I'm going to be very careful. There are a bunch of levels that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here. So, for example, today you can see that after we got that early morning correction, the crypto drifted towards that 602 zone. 602.60, roughly around there, and that's the high of the 11th of January. So it found support here, rebounded, and made its way up again. However, now, like I said, all this is kind of very, very tricky here. So we do have a bunch of upside lines as well. So, for example, one of them is this one right here, drawn from the low of the 23rd of December. Another one, which is also a bit of a tentative one, could be drawn right here. This one, from the low of the 28th of January. So, in terms of the levels, if we see another drop, another slide here, but the crypto, let's say, fails to move below the January high, which is around the 631.70 zone, now we could see something like this. But if it starts falling below the high of the 11th of January and near the low of today, which is around the 602.60 zone, then yes, we'll go for a bit of a larger correction to the downside. So that's my little kind of game plan for Bitcoin Cash. Litecoin, so similar story, guys. I mean, with this one, you can see the crypto drifted lower today, this morning, on this correction, and it tested the highest point of January near the 185.75 zone. I talked a lot about this, and if you remember, guys, last week I said to you guys, if we get a daily candle staying above this hurdle, above the high here of the highest point of January, this one right here, let me just quickly mark this up, there we go. If we see the price staying above it and we see the daily candle staying above it, then yes, higher levels could be met. And you can see, boom, this is what we got. We had a further move north here, and we've managed to test the area around the 230.80 zone, which kind of is right now the all-time, or sorry, not the all-time high, the highest point, the current highest point of this year. For the all-time high, I don't think that, yeah, of course, that's the all-time high is somewhere around here, the 370.80 zone. So long story short, guys, for now, basically keep your eyes on this month's trading activity, because let's see if we're not going to start repeating the scenario here of 2018, where initially we had a strong rally here in 2017, at the end of 2017, but then 2018 started kind of declining after February time, somewhere around here, and yep, kind of the February was a decent month here, but then March was kind of a bit of a downer. So again, keep that in mind. Let's see if that's gonna play out or not, but at the moment, yep, all eyes are going to be probably on again on this 185.75. I know that we have passed it, but still, as you can see, it's kind of doing its job right now, and it's kind of pushing, or should I say, keeping the crypto. Keeping the crypto kind of still in the positive territory. So long story short, basically for now, this 185.75 territory will be the one to watch. And for now, like I said, if we see another slide here, but the crypto fails to break back below this, then yep, a nice reversal here back to the upside could be possible. Jumping into AUDUSD. So looking at this picture here, you can see that we are pushing further above this downside line here, drawn from the high of the 7th of January, and we're also trading above this 0.7740 territory, so also a nice positive sign. And as I said to you, my next target is the high of the highest point of January here near the 0.7820 zone, and then we'll take it from there, guys. If we get a test of this area, okay, that's great. We'll see what it wants to do after. Of course, we're not going to rush into anything yet. I'm not saying that this will travel further above it. It might, of course, but let's keep it short and simple, because what I don't want to see here is basically this one pushing higher, testing this area, maybe even overshooting, but still ending up being below this hurdle, below the 0.7820, and then kind of reversing back to the downside. So yeah, let's keep an eye on this one. USDCAD, quickly, I just realized that, guys, I need to rush through this a little bit because, again, I'm running out of time. USDCAD still to the downside. Everything's kind of working out nicely here. So the idea was that if this downside line continues to provide resistance, and on Friday you can see that it did so, then yes, further declines are possible. My next target is the 1.2630. I'm not going to drag this one way too much to the downside. First, I'm going to aim for that area, or maybe if that gets cleared at the kind of the last point for me here, it will be this 1.2590, and then we'll take it from there. So again, let's keep it short and simple. For now, my first target is the 1.2630 zone. GBP Aussie. This one is a tricky one. I said to you guys to keep an eye on it because, again, you can see that it seems that we're forming a possible descending triangle here. We're trading below this downside line drawn from the high of the 5th of February, and we're still kind of balancing above this support zone near the 1.7789. So basically, long story short, if you want to go for some higher levels, well, you still need to wait for that good strong break above this downside line and a push above the the high of the 11th of February near the 1.7925 zone. At the same time, the rate will be placed above the 100-day EMA, here shown as the green line, and more buyers could join in. For the downside, pretty straightforward. A drop below the 1.7789 territory will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and further declines could be possible. Jumping into another pair, EURGBP. So this one is quite interesting because I've mentioned this one last week, guys. I talked a lot about this one, and I was saying that if this downside line continues to provide resistance, well, I mean, the scenario is still to the downside. As you can see, today, this morning, we saw a drop below the low of 5th of February, which was previously the lowest point of February. It dropped below this 0.8738 territory, 39 zone, and managed to reach the area around here, the 0.8710, from where it kind of rebounded and pushed back to the upside. So I'm going to go slowly on this one. I need to see another drop below the 0.8710 zone in order to go for some lower areas, just to be, like I said, on the safe side. For the upside, pretty straightforward. A break of this downside line is still needed. And with the upside barrier here, I mean, I previously looked at this 0.8826 zone. Well, now, to be honest, I can probably adjust this a little bit and keep my eyes on the 0.8797 territory here. And finally, EURUSD. So quickly on this one. So as you can see, on Friday we saw a drop lower. What I was saying to you guys, I mean, be careful with this. I mean, it could be a bit of a choppy one here, and to be honest, I mean, for the downside, we still need to see a drop below this 1.2059 zone at least. We didn't really get that. On Friday we saw this this kind of, oh, there, one moment, just a second, let me adjust this arrow here, oh sorry, this line. So for the downside, we need to see at least a drop below this. We didn't really reach that area, and instead the rate kind of corrected back above this 21-day EMA, and today it's kind of trading still above this 1.2109 zone. So everything's kind of looking quite still somewhat positive, I would say, but I'll stick to my game plan. I will wait for a push above the 1.2156 territory in order to go for some higher levels. So guys, that's it for today. I mean, I'll have to wrap it up right now because, again, my colleague is jumping in after me. So thank you very much for joining in and watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that, guys. I really appreciate your likes. Thank you very much. So if you want to catch my video later on, my traders tea time is always 13:15 GMT. For now, guys, have a wonderful evening. Wonderful day, guys. Oh, there we go. Have a wonderful day, guys. I mean, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.